I've been working inside of AI creatively for the past 3 months using different platforms and AI models to create some amazing photos and videos. And here are 5 things I wish I knew before I got started. The first thing is to add cinematic details into your prompts that you are feeding into your AI models. And what I mean by this is tell the AI model what kind of camera you want to use, what kind of lens you want to use, what kind of lighting you want to use. The more detail you can give it, the better, especially with these newer models like Cdance 2.5 and also Kling 3.0. They take camera direction extremely well. So a lot of times I'll tell it, hey, I want to shoot with an Aria Alexa. I want to use some Cook glasses. I want to shoot at 50 millimeter and I want an aperture of 1.4. That way I know I'm going to have a lot of depth in the shot. And honestly, this has been giving me some amazing results, and it might be my number one tip to get higher quality results when you are prompting AI models. And this also works for photo models as well. I've been using C-Dream 5 Pro recently, and I have to tell you, C-Dream 5 Pro is probably my favorite photo model out there. And if you're giving us some reference images too, this is just going to take it to that next level, because if I give it a reference image, I give it my camera direction, what camera I want to use, what lens I want to use, you really are going to get some amazing results. And this is going to take you to that next level in your AI video creation. Now, my second tip is to choose the right AI model for the job. Now, one thing you're going to learn quickly is you want to work inside a platform that is going to allow you to have access to a lot of different models, right? Almost every single model. So I work inside of Runway because I have access to a lot of different image models. I have access to a lot of different video models, and I can have all these models talk to one another in a node-based workflow. This is the workflow that I like to work in, but you can test out a lot of different platforms to see what workflow works best for you. But no matter what platform I'm working in, what I like to do is I like to test the different models to see what their strengths and weaknesses are. And if I'm in between different models, I'll run them up against one another to see what model is going to give me the best result for that project. So for instance, on the video side, a lot of times I'm running Cdance 2.5 versus Kling 03 Pro. I think both these models are top end and honestly the highest quality video you're going to be able to create. And on the photo side, I've been really loving 3 different models. I really love C-Dream 5 Pro, GBT Image 2, and also Nano Banana Pro. I think all 3 of these models do an excellent job, and a lot of times I am putting all 3 models up against one another to see what's going to give me that best photo to move forward with on my video model. So go out there and test a lot of different models and see what works best for your price point and the project you're working on. My third tip is consistency, consistency, consistency. You want to have a consistent look across all the photos and videos you are creating inside of AI. And here are some great tips in order to maintain that consistent look. Always give your AI models a reference image to work off of. And what I mean by that is don't just give it a reference image of the front side of the product. Give it a reference image of the front, side, back, and create a whole reference sheet for that product so you are going to get the best results. And that way that AI model knows exactly what every part of the object or product looks like. So that way this AI model that I'm feeding it into has a consistent look that it is going to reference in the video that it is creating. And I highly recommend spending a lot of time creating that reference image, because that reference image is going to be used across all the different photos and videos that you do create. So you really want a high quality, high production reference image that you can refer back to in order to get the best results. My fourth tip is to remember that cost of these models adds up fast. For example, if you're using Cdance 2.5 inside of Runway, you're spending roughly 30 cents a second for 720, and you're spending roughly 68 cents a second for 1080p. Now that can add up pretty quickly. So if you're creating a 720 15-second video, that's going to be $4.50. And let's say that render the first time isn't the greatest and you have to render it maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times in order to get the results that you're looking for. Those costs can really add up, because now instead of spending $4.50 for that 15-second piece, you are spending roughly $25 to $30 on it. However, if you look at all the things that go into AI video creation, and instead of you going out actually shooting it, hiring actors, hiring a video team, the cost is still so much cheaper to create a video inside of AI. But do keep in mind that you are going to have to re-render a lot of these videos, and you're not going to get the perfect video on the first try. So try to keep that in mind when you are starting a new AI project. And my last tip is to treat each render like a raw video clip instead of the final video. This really changed the way that I look at AI video creation, because now what I do is I go in there and I create each scene that I want to create as a 15-second clip. That way I can shorten it later in my editor and I can choose the best piece from that clip. So for instance, if you look at my ad that I made for the runway competition, I probably ran between 20 and 30 different 15-second clips of raw video in order to create my 30-second piece. And honestly, I think this is going to give you the best result, because it's just like if you were to go out there and shoot B-roll for a video, and I could take that B-roll and I can narrow it down to the best parts of the B-roll to showcase in my video. And I think if you look at AI this way, it is really going to help you create the highest quality video if you are taking all those videos and cutting them down yourself instead of relying on AI to do the cutting for you. I think this way you are still the storyteller, you are still in control of the final output. So I highly recommend treating each render as a raw piece of video, because you might be able to use 1 or 2 seconds here, 1 or 2 seconds here, 3-4 seconds here, and then edit it all together in order to create that final video that you are looking for. So those are my 5 tips I wish I knew before I started AI video and photo creation. If you have any additional tips, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Please like and subscribe to my video. My goal is 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I know we're getting so close. If you're not already, follow me over at Substack. It's colebielecki.substack.com. Over there, I do share a lot of my AI content and props, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.